Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's a little bit late already, so thank you for your persistence. We count on your attention and also willingness to participate. So I'm giving right away the floor to the speakers. And if it is okay for you, we will leave in the end some minutes for Q&As and let them talk. This is a small session about new trends in football education. And it presents a very interesting case of synergies that were built between the Football Association and several schools, and how different stakeholders can get together to build trainings and top-level education. So I will give the floor right away to André Seabra. André Seabra is the director of Football School and is also a professor at University of Porto. So welcome and thank you for your participation.
Thank you, Filipe. Well, before to start my presentation, to say thank you to Soccerex for the possibility and the opportunity to share some experience about what the Portuguese FA will doing during the last 2 years. Well, I don't know if you listened yesterday to Tiago Craveiro, the General Director of Portuguese Football Association, but 2 years ago, the administration of Portuguese FA decided to launch the Portugal Football School. That is the research and education and training unit of the Portuguese FA. Well, the launch of the unit, as I said, 2 years ago, with the participation of the Education Ministry and High School Education Ministry, it was launched, and with the 3 different main proposals. Well, the first one is related with the education and training of the different stakeholders that participate in and promote football, futsal, and beach soccer in Portugal. Probably, as you know, in the majority of the sports organizations, usually the education has a focus in coaches and referees. And the administration of the Portuguese FA decided that if you want to improve the quality of the football in Portugal, you need also to give education and training for different stakeholders, not only coaches and referees. And then we started to give education to leaders, players, all the people that work inside of the health unit, physicians, kind of physiotherapists and nurses, and also the people that work in media and the society in general in terms of different values and behaviors that we believe that the society needs to know and need to understand in order to improve the quality of the football in Portugal. Well, but the idea, when Soccerex decided to invite us to come here, the idea was to share with you some of our executive courses that we decided to launch 2 years ago in our federation. Well, what is important to know also, 2 years ago, when President Fernando Gomes decided to create the Portugal Football School, President Fernando Gomes said that, well, one of the most important things is to join the Portuguese universities to our programs, is to, of course, to join the research centers that we have in Portugal to our federation and to construct education and training programs with these universities. Well, and at this moment, we have 3 different executive courses. One regarding the sports management issues, the second one about marketing, and the last one about football law. We are starting these programs 2 years ago. Now we are in the 2nd edition of our football management for executive leaders. And I will show you the idea in a short video, what we are doing in these courses, that I think it's more important than my words to see the video.
Iniciamos esta ação hoje relativamente à formação de potenciais líderes executivos do futebol, um pouco numa perspectiva internacional. Temos várias nacionalidades presentes nesta ação. Temos a felicidade, através das relações que entretanto fomos criando, de trazer um conjunto de palestrantes extremamente interessantes que têm posições de relevo no futebol europeu e mundial, e o estabelecimento das parcerias com 3 universidades credenciadas que nos permitem ter um curso de uma qualidade acima da média.
It's a very complete program. It spans over 6 modules, and I think it encompasses all the key topics, key areas for football management, football business.
É um balanço muito positivo, principalmente pelas pessoas que vieram cá partilhar as suas experiências. Acho que esse foi para mim o ponto mais interessante de todo o curso. Tivemos lições e palestras de pessoas que neste momento estão em altos cargos no futebol mundial. É um grande privilégio e, portanto, aprendemos muito.
Fantastic initiative from the Portuguese Federation to bring together people from all over the world and also people from different experiences, because football management is a very broad area. It's not just knowing about football, it's knowing about management, it's knowing about fans, it's knowing about so many different things, and having different people from different backgrounds and different cultures also coming together is rich in sharing this knowledge, and that's why also as the technical director of FIFA, I think it's very important we contribute to this.
I think this is a very good opportunity. We see high quality sessions, we see high quality and informative discussions. So I believe the course, and now, well, I'm sad to see it ending, but I think over the year the course was excellent.
It's so important to learn from industry leaders and to collaborate with people from all aspects of the game. We've got stakeholders here from industry, from people on the pitch, off the pitch. I'm in more of an executive governance role. It's huge to get the input from all of my friends within the sports family across the world, so from Saudi Arabia to Portugal.
Amanhã é o último dia, vão receber os diplomas, mas hoje ainda vais ter um joguinho de futebol, só para matar saudades.
Sim, não sei se podemos chamar jogo de futebol ou jogar à bola. Vamos ver se vai haver diferença ou não.
Well, I might be a team manager.
I've brought my boots and I'm ready to go.
Well, this is our vision, our mission. What we believe is in fact to give education and training to leaders. And if you want, it's what I believe, if you want to improve the education and training of the leaders, you need to have the help, the collaboration, the partnership of different universities. And in this particular, in the stage, for us it's happy to have the collaboration of one of the most referenced university in sports in our country, the Faculty of Human Kinetics, and also to have the collaboration of the best management, financing, and economics school that we have in Portugal. And together, we believe that we can improve the education and training of the different stakeholders in Portugal. Thank you, Philip.
So thank you. So I will give right away the floor to Pedro Brinca. Pedro, he's a professor in economics at Nova Business School and Economics, and he's been leading this partnership with the Portuguese Federation of Football, and to which I'm really proud and happy to be part of. So Pedro, thank you again, and please, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thanks, Felipe. I'm a professor of macroeconomics, so definitely I'm not the one who really knows much about football, but you know, I'm really, really excited and happy. I'm very passionate about the game, about everything that surrounds it. So of course, I mean, coming to Soccerex, I feel like a 4-year-old at Disneyland or something. So that's pretty good. Anyway, talking about our what we do and our core business, we are a business school. We are a business school, so we offer top quality training in management, finance, and economics. We are a top 25, top 23 Financial Times Business School in the world. We compete at the European level for the best students. And the first thing that comes to mind is, why would a management school get a partnership with the Portuguese Football Association? And the answer is pretty straightforward. And the reason is, they're the best. I mean, name me a company or a Portuguese business or sector that is currently #1 in Europe. I mean, you'd find a very hard time to find it. I mean, the Portuguese Football Association has done an incredible job in the last 20 years, which kind of accompanied the evolution and the transformation of football in terms of professionalization, of excellence in business practices and so forth. And I think the Portuguese Football Association went beyond that, okay? Because Portugal competitiveness at the national team levels and everything that surrounds the game, including management organization, I think evolved a lot in the last 20 years, in line with what happened in every other country, but I think it went even beyond that, okay? So the reason why we want to partner with the Portuguese Football Association is because we see, not just on the football industry in Portugal, but also in the Portuguese Football Association in itself, a good metaphor for the business environment. Business environment is highly competitive. You have to decide under pressure. We have all these characteristics for which the Portuguese Football Association has to build skills in their employees and in their players and in their associates. We have to do too, okay? We have to do that too, also to our students in the business environment. And of course, given the level of excellence that they have achieved and they continue achieving, of course, we have a lot to learn and a lot of knowledge and practices that we can take from what they do into our classroom. Not to mention the obvious fact that, of course, football is very sexy for everyone, so everyone wants to be connected to it. So it's a very easy product to sell. If I'm thinking a little bit more in different segments, the first two I'm going to talk about are about degree granting programs. The bottom two are non-degree granting, meaning there's no master's or associated with it. It's just like a postgraduate course. In the pre-experience segment, which includes bachelor's and master programs, there's a very compelling market need. There's a lot of demand from international students. In Europe, is picking up a lot. Asia, for sure, and also starting a lot in South America, as they gain a little bit more purchasing power and football becomes a little bit more professionalized, and they are feeling the need of providing sufficient background to these new people attached to the industry. On the post-experience, and this is mainly people who already have a graduate degree or they have a bachelor degree, they are working in the industry, and they might be seeking a formal degree in sports management or management related to sports practices. In Portugal, the market is not that big, and it's by far where we would need the most to bet on creating programs with an international profile that would be appealing to people coming from abroad, for sure. The Portuguese market size is too small, and definitely that's an area that if you're into it, for sure you need to think internationally. Summer schools right now is the program, includes a set of programs on which we have an offer that is more mature. So we have already 4 editions of different summer schools. We're doing really well. I think the programs have been very, very successful. And I think also that there is also, but they've been mostly national, aiming at the national market. Okay, so national market has been large enough to sustain these programs. However, I think we can build international versions of these programs, especially to cater for the big sports management industry in the US, especially their students, because typically in their curricula, they need to spend some time abroad for a short period. So we for sure can capitalize on that, on attracting those kids. Executive education, it's about non-degree granting, focalized, typically short-term courses for people who are working in this industry, or they want to build a CV or a profile that can be appealing and change that industry. And in that particular case, Andrea already talked about the executive managers program that we have with the Portugal Football Association, which obviously aims really, really high. in terms of both the lecturers and the people who they got. I mean, if you're Portuguese, I'm pretty sure you recognize all of these people are very famous figures and that take part in the course. Going back to the summer schools, which are the programs for which we have a little bit of more maturity and experience, we have two currently. One is summer school on football is much more than 90 minutes. So it's basically focused on event organization and everything that is connected to it. So in the mornings, we have people from Nova SBE talking about logistics, marketing, HR, economics of football, all of that. And in the afternoon comes the people that actually live that every day and say, listen, you learn this in the morning, this is how we put it to practice in our everyday life. So if you're a kid, you're passionate about the industry, you want to learn about it, you want to migrate to that industry, well, now you have a glimpse of what your life would be. Okay, so that's the principle. The second program is more focused on human resources, how to build talent on teams, high-performance teams, but it basically follows the same concept. Okay. Now, I'm just going to pass a video about a short video. I apologize, it's in Portuguese. I hope that the simultaneous translation can help you guys with that if you need. But it's a video that summarizes one of our summer programs for you guys to feel the vibe and the dynamics and kind of see how it feels. Okay. So if you guys could play it, please. Pretty please.
Não há grandes táticas sem grandes talentos. Este foi o mote para a primeira edição da Easter School, uma iniciativa da Portugal Football School que aborda o tema da gestão de talentos, tanto no desporto como nos negócios. O projeto resultou mais uma vez da parceria entre a Federação Portuguesa de Futebol e a nova School of Business and Economics. Os 2 primeiros dias do evento decorreram aqui, no campus de Carcavelos. Durante estes 2 dias falou-se de gestão de conflitos, inteligência emocional, liderança, identificação e seleção de talentos.
Dentro da dinâmica coletiva de uma equipa é algo que é importante e sabemos que haver talentos é algo que nos potencia e que nos faz superar em alguns momentos. Isso para nós é algo que é importante no mundo do futebol, porque ajuda-nos a ser um bocadinho mais forte dentro sempre, como eu disse, daquilo que é a nossa dinâmica coletiva e do nosso espírito de grupo.
Esta convergência entre o que é a gestão no desporto, ou ideias e problemas que nós vivemos no dia-a-dia, na liderança e na gestão das equipas e nos objetivos comuns, e simultaneamente a preocupação nas empresas, portanto existe aqui um paralelismo muito grande. Não é?
Um dos desafios que eu julgo que a Universidade tem em geral, e nós também em particular, é de nos abrirmos à sociedade, colaborar mais com outras entidades, instituições, organizações e obviamente a Federação parece muito interessante por um conjunto de razões, nomeadamente porque é um setor muito apelativo para muitos dos nossos estudantes e a verdade é que o futebol se tornou uma indústria muito importante para Portugal. E sendo uma indústria e um setor de negócio interessante, é bom que as pessoas tenham melhores qualificações de gestão e nós estamos cá dentro do possível para ajudar.
Já encontrou aqui alguns talentos ou ainda não?
Eu ainda estou a tentar encontrar. Eles estão meio escondidos, acho que não estão na areia ainda. Não, mas vê-se cá aí jogadores que já têm algum toque de bola.
E do areal de Carcavelos, os participantes viajaram até aqui, à cidade do futebol, onde a discussão sobre o desenvolvimento e a gestão de talentos continuou por mais 2 dias.
Sinceramente, tem superado as minhas expectativas, que já eram altas, mas tem sido não só os dias na Nova, mas como os dias agora aqui na Federação, a forma como nos têm tratado, com pequenas surpresas e com, por exemplo, agora com a visita, tem sido extraordinário. Acho que o melhor da formação tem sido a forma como os professores estão ligados entre si e as aulas estão ligadas e como se fosse um processo, todo o curso, e isso tem sido extraordinário.
Gostei muito das sessões todas, no geral, e de falar um bocadinho mais de como é que podemos descobrir talento, como é que podemos potenciar, mesmo não sendo, por exemplo, um recrutador, mas nas nossas equipas, como é que podemos fazer toda a gente trabalhar em conjunto. E também achei que é um grupo muito interessante, toda a gente muito diferente, temos pessoas que vêm do Brasil, pessoas já estiveram no Irão, então também gostei muito do grupo.
A origem desta Easter School tem que ver exatamente pelo facto da Universidade Nova e da Federação Portuguesa de Futebol terem preocupações semelhantes. Ambas estão preocupadas com a identificação, com a seleção e com o desenvolvimento de talentos em áreas completamente distintas, mas os conhecimentos cruzam-se e por isso tem sido extraordinariamente positivo poder perceber que quer da parte da nova SBE, quer por parte da Federação Portuguesa de Futebol, o conhecimento relativamente a esta temática do talento é de facto semelhante.
Não há grandes táticas sem grandes talentos. Este foi o mote para a primeira edição da...
Okay, it was about to start again. So, within this was basically a summary of our last edition of the Easter School, focused on HR. So that's one segment, pre-experience, non-degree granting courses. In this case, this is non-degree granting, but executive education market. Andrea has talked extensively about this. I don't want to bore you with this again. I'm just going to finalize with a concept that we are developing and that we are planning to launch very soon with the Portuguese Football Association, which is this kind of approach or this idea or this concept that a CEO is a high-performance athlete in some sense, right? The challenge here is clearly to understand why is it that, you know, in an athlete, if you're a top performer, you have to take into account all the physical, emotional, mental aspects of your performance, but why not also a CEO? Okay? These are aspects that traditionally are not covered by these people. They only focus on the cognitive skills, but of course, cognitive is only one part of your overall performance output. So our challenge here is to pass the message and sell the idea that indeed there's more to it than just know how to do things, okay? And no one is better than the Portuguese Football Association to help us pass that, okay? So our program, it explores or allows the participants to explore all the potential that they have in dealing with their mission's demands, especially in their professional, social, and personal dimensions, as is mentioned in the slides. And the profile is typically supervisors, so who is this aimed to? Supervisors, team leaders, coordinators, anyone who has as a role as their everyday business to lead people, to lead projects, to have a center role at defining the mission and the objectives of the organizations and institutions that they are part of, okay? And we use football precisely because it achieved a level of excellence that we for sure can use to help CEOs from other sectors to increase their performance. And after being, you know, way over my time, I'll just...
Okay. And so just don't want to take more time, so I'll give right away the floor to Antonio Veloso, who is a professor at the Faculty of Human Kinetics at University of Lisbon. So you have Nova University of Lisbon and University of Lisbon, who are the two largest universities here. So yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm basically coming to talk you guys about what Pedro already says. Football is one of the top industries in Portugal. If all our level, let's say all our companies, the state, whatever, what had the same level of football, we will be a much bigger country than we are right now. And we at the Faculty of Human Kinetics have a strong responsibility for that. First of all, because is being referenced by several, well, starting in BBC to L'Equipe, whatever. A lot of people have been noticed that this is the faculty that developed the higher number of top-level coaches in the world. There's no way any other university or faculty in the world that has that number of top coaches in football. And the second probably is Porto. So imagine what is the ability of the Portuguese higher education sports structure to develop coach education. And for that, 5 years ago, we thought that could make sense to put that in a perspective that was not tested until now, that developing high performance for football post-graduation, using that capability that we have been developing. Remember that what we have now on the national team is basically started to be built in the 90s with Carlos Queiroz. That took basically our team in the university to the federation to start the work with our youth, and since then we never stopped. So together with Mourinho, we convinced them to build a program that is not intended to cover or to substitute what are the certifications coming from the federations, or even the academic programs, traditional academic programs that we also have, but complete the let's say, to follow what will be the needs of a top coach, and only someone like him that was at the top was able to acknowledge, to identify what are the things that we still need to know, that the coaches need to know and they don't have education on. So that's why we developed the program. Was actually basically structured on this living room during a couple of days of work. And for that we have had fantastic support from the Portuguese FA, and that's the mode of the course.
E outra coisa é a capacidade de produzires o próprio conhecimento.
So that is the motors of the course, is to develop new knowledge, to develop, to inform the students of all the different levels. And I'm just using the structure of the course that's just started, the 4th edition. I don't think any other program in Portugal probably started an international program where 2/3 of the pupils in the 1st edition were foreigners. And that's the trend. So we have now the 4th edition, we have people from South Africa, Australia, United States, Scandinavia, all the countries, and it's been a tremendous success. Yeah, of course, basic foundations initial module, but then we quickly go for clinical performance and the use of top technology. And in all, one of the things that we are proud of is for each of the specific areas that we use, we have someone that comes from academia, that has a good academic background, but at the same time are in the industry. So for football monitoring in GPS, we have someone that was in the top club doing that exactly. And that's the same trend for all the other modules. So we have, and of course we have José Mourinho with the students, but not only that, not only him. In governance, in structure in football, we have the first CEO of the Premier League and CEO of Liverpool that also collaborates with executive courses also. So that's the trend, is to complete and focus the areas where our coaches don't have education on. And what is more important than anything else, they will also have a link to what is the conception of the business from the scouting and asset management, also as you heard before on the other, as the other courses more directed to that, and with a strong trend on developing the coaches as an asset themselves. And we also been able to give the opportunity for some of those coaches to spend some time in top clubs from all over, from Mexico, from Qatar, from the Premier League, from Spain, in Barcelona, from all the top clubs in Portugal. So our students were able also to be there and to use the opportunity to know about
His
that.
magnetism is very inspiring.
For me, it was surreal to some extent.
Every knowledge is welcome, every discussion is welcome, every idea is welcome, but in the end, what they have to learn is to think football by themselves. In this process, I always refuse to say that I'm right and the others are wrong, because I believe that in football, if you have your ideas, you are never wrong.
There are some things that you have to believe in. If you stick to your beliefs, if you are sure that you're doing the right thing, somehow it's gonna come through.
In the end, you are the one that produces your own approach.
So this is reality, and also we want to build from that. So just quick word about the 2 programs that we are developing with together with the Portugal Football Schools. And this is quite amazing, because from the first course we had people from all over the world participating as professors, and from there we were approached by the Spanish Federation to develop a new program in performance and functional education in football that will be brand new, and will have a double certification from the Portuguese FA, from the Real Federación Española de Fútbol, and 2 Portuguese universities. This is groundbreaking. It's really relevant. The 2 of the most powerful federations joining to develop education. And a second one that we are really on to preparing right now on performance analysis in football. And performance analysis is from game analysis, from training load monitoring, new analytics, the approach that allows players profiling, and finally scouting, that actually Andrea is always keen to tell us that we need to do a new developments in that area. So thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. And also, you were telling me before, right in the beginning, that you're quite tough in the selection process, right?
Yeah, we do. We since the first edition, we understood that the fact that to be able to choose students that had the good mindset of cooperation, of good with good social skills and good empathy, it's tremendously important. They develop their own network. We have experiences of students that helped others to find new jobs and to develop their own career, and has been a tremendous success for us. And one of the things that we are doing right now is we invite the top students from each edition to come and teach on the next edition. So, and that's been a tremendous success. We have people like Adam Sadler, that is assistant coach in Leicester, participating in the final evaluation of the new students, and we had tremendous people like head of performance analysis from PSG was a student. Just to mention a few.
Yes. Okay, so we are almost done. I believe this was an interesting opportunity to show how the academia and the industry can get along together and learn from each other. As a professor in some of the courses that were shown here, I must tell you that I do learn while I am teaching in these courses, and I do know that the school has learned while getting in touch with the Portuguese Federation, with these programs, with this industry. And also I learned that, I know that we've been able to give some insights and some inputs to the industry. And I believe that's how we grow together as part of interesting programs and in a partnership. And because we're really late on time, I would like to know if there's any questions that you would like to address, any curiosity? No? Okay. So I want to thank you, the 3 of you, so much, and I hope you had an interesting time. Thank you.
Thank you.